Manjot Singh and Sajid. Okay.
What about my name?
Am I?
Which group are you in, Sanju?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, ma'am.
You need to decide the group.
Can you see my
I think
name?
I'm with Dia's group. I'm in Dia's group.
I haven't got the email actually from Dia.
Okay, ma'am. Then we will just create a group and send you the mail.
No worries here. Oh no, just 3 to 4. Okay. And make sure it's only 3 to 4, not more than that. Okay. Okay. Godse, can you please email me your group? I think you, Swastika, Uttam, and Deepa, right?
Yeah, we are all one group. We'll email you somewhere.
Yeah, just email me the group. Yeah. Not in group, okay. Can join with him. Yeah. Okay. So Deepa, have you formed the group?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm in Gosti, me.
Okay.
Who else is in my group? Gosti, me, and
Okay. Godse. Okay then. Godse, Deepa, Swastik, and Uttam.
okay, ma'am. Also, I think last week some of the friend they created a group, but I'm not sure if they had sent you an email. Usama and
I think so you're in their group.
I'm in that group.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're in their group. Yes, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah. You're in their group. Usman's group. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, then. Nizal, Sajid, Ishwar, have you got the group?
No, ma'am, I'm looking for someone.
Okay, maybe you three can form the group. Nizal, Sajid.
I guess I am already in the group. Ayush messaged me saying I was in his group.
Okay, that should be fine. Okay, what about Ishwar? Are you in a group?
No, ma'am, I haven't found anyone.
Okay, now Nizal, have you got the group?
Already in a group.
You're already in a group. Okay, maybe. Yeah, okay. You can join with Keshav. You can join with Keshav. Okay, you, Keshav, and what's his name here? Maybe like 3 in a group. Yeah, you can make him your group as well.
I can be in a case of group, ma'am.
You can be in his group actually.
Suddenly.
This year you can work on. Sorry? Group? Yeah, I will, yeah. Students, are you all here? Online students? On campus?
Recording in
Yeah.
progress.
So I've already discussed the assessment last week and we'll discuss it today as well. So this one get started. Okay, yeah. So this is the assessment. Okay. Assessment 3, solution to programming problem by group of 3 to 4, 20 hours. And then process, can you listen? Yeah. Okay. Unit learning outcomes addressed will be like upon successful completion of this unit, students should be able to demonstrate the basic knowledge of object-oriented programming concepts and programming problems, analyze and dissect the simple design and programming problem individually and in groups. Implement a well-designed modular-sized solution to small programming problems, develop and implement the testing schedule, which is in week 8, which is next week. Okay, so next Sunday, 15th of May. We need to submit it by 11:59 p.m. Okay, next Sunday. Yeah. So a group of 3 to 4 students will work together to provide a quality solution to programming problem using Java programming language. You need to use only Eclipse. Okay, not other tool, only like Eclipse, because that's our recommended tool. Okay. So it's 15% of the unit total marks. So, and the students are advised that submission of an assessment task past the due date without a formally signed, approved assessment extension form. You can just find the form here. Suppose in an emergency, if you need any extension, you need to submit to MyKens. So you need to go to this link, download the form, and then you need to submit it. Okay, I cannot give you extension. Okay, it's only the HED admin who gives you the extension. Okay, so here's the form. Go to form, assessment extension application form, student login. You need to provide the student login, download it. Okay, fill all the required fields, and then you can send it to them. Okay, if you need an extension. Okay. Or previously approved application for other extenuating circumstances impacting course of study incurs a 5% penalty. So per calendar day calculated by deduction from the total marks. So it's per calendar day. Okay, even it includes the holidays as well, Saturdays, Sundays as well. So for example, an assessment task mark out of 40 will incur a 2-mark penalty for each calendar day. It's a 50%, it's a 5%. Okay, so for 40 it will be 2, ours is 15. Okay, so here more information, please refer to Kent website, MyKent student link policy, assessment policy and procedure, student login required. Okay, so here this is the assessment task. So assessment description, your task is to design, develop and test a small application which will allow the mobile phone user to compare the cost of their phone usage on a particular day under plans from 3 different phone providers and find the most expensive and cheapest from them. Okay, so which means you need to have 3 providers, provider 1, 2 and 3. You need to choose them. Okay, and then you need to just provide all the SMS, all the data usage that you will be using per day and choose it from there. Okay, so you need to display the cheapest and expensive providers. Okay, so task 1 is the design. This stage requires you to prepare the documentation that describes the function of the program and how it needs to be tested. There is no coding or code testing involved in this stage. The first step is documentation. Okay, you don't need to code with this. Okay, you need to provide the documentation like the pseudocode. Okay, so read through the task 2 program development to obtain the details of the requirements of this program. Write the pseudocode that describes how the program will operate. You need to provide the pseudocode for the second task. Okay, so this is what your design is. Okay, all program requirements must be included even if you don't end up including all these requirements in your program code. The pseudocode must be structured logically so that the program would function correctly. So what you implement in the code should be in the pseudocode as well. Okay. Prepare and document the test cases that can be used to check that the program works correctly once it has been coded. You need to prepare the test cases as well. I've explained you, right? I've explained you how you need to do the test cases. Okay. I think last or previous class. Yeah. Go check the recordings. You need to provide the test cases as well. You do not need to actually run the test case in the stage. This will occur in stage 2. You just need to provide the test cases. That should be fine. Okay. Test cases should be documented using the template in week 6. Week 6, there's a template. You can use that template. Okay. It has got the test ID, test description, and then input data, actual and expected results. Okay. So you may include. Sorry. Yes, yeah. So this is a different part. This is a pseudocode, and this one is only the test cases. Yes, yeah. Okay, at this stage, the actual result column will be left blank. 2 test cases per group member are required to gain full marks in this task. Suppose if you have 4, in that case, you need to provide 8 test cases. So 2 for each student. Okay, understood? So you need to provide 2 test cases per group member. Okay, got it? Yes, that will be discussed later. Okay, I will discuss that as well. So the second task is your development. Here comes the development. First is the documentation, second is the development. Documentation, you need to include the pseudocode plus the test cases. Okay, so that's your documentation. And program development, using the design documentation to assist you develop a Java program that allows the user to enter the details of their phone usage and then compare the bill which would result from their usage under different billing plans. All requirements require that you follow the coding conventions such as the proper layout of the code, using the naming conventions and writing the meaningful comments throughout your program. You need to give the comments, okay? You know that. You need to use the indentation, okay? If you want a white space, methods, within the methods, okay? You need to follow all that naming conventions as well. And comments, like wherever necessary, you need to give the comments, okay? So this is your requirement 1. Display a welcome message when the program starts, okay? Welcome to phone bill comparison system. Maybe I'll do it a bit large so you can see it clearly. Got it? So this is the welcome message. Okay, you need to display this message. So display a welcome message when the program starts. The welcome message should have a asterisk at the top of the and the bottom, just long enough to extend our text. Use a loop for this. You need to use the loop. Okay. Yeah. The first line of the message should read welcome to the phone bill comparison system. The second line of the message should be blank, something like this. Okay. First line asterisk using the loop and then welcome to phone bill and then a space, a blank line. And then the third line should read developed by, followed by your names and comma, then student ID. Okay. Something like this. Group member names, student ID. Suppose if you have 4 in a group, all 4 group members needs to be provided. Okay. So the fourth line should display OODP101, object-oriented design and programming, something like this. Okay. And then the fifth line should display the current date and time of the system. You are expected to do a research to complete this task. Okay. To include the time and date. And then the 6th line should be blank, and the 7th line should be another row of asterisk. So this is how you need to present. First is asterisk, and then welcome to phone bill. Sorry, I didn't get your question. Yes, yeah. Whenever you execute the program, this needs to be printed actually, the first thing. Okay. This one? This one needs to be only once. Okay. The loop structure needs to be only for this asterisk. Okay. Okay. And this one needs to be only printed once. It needs to be like a title. This is the title. Okay. Understood? And then, so this is your task, like requirement 1. Okay. Understood? Okay, requirement 2, provide a menu from which the user can select to enter the usage details, display the cost under the provider 1, display the cost under provider 2, display cost under provider 3, cleared usage, or exit the system. This menu should be repeated each time after the user has chosen and completed an option until the user chooses to exit. The user selects an option by entering the number next to it. If an invalid number is selected, the user is advised to make the selection again. Okay. So here, so this is the menu selection. So this one is your requirement 2. So this is, so you have to, so this will be a title. Okay. And after that, you need to display this main menu. Yes, you can also do it without the loop, but it's better you do with the loop because the requirement says with the loop. Okay. So here, display the main menu. Please select from the menu, enter usage details, display the cost under provider 1, display cost under provider 2, display cost under provider 3, clear the usage details and exit. Okay. So this is your main menu. Okay. Understood? You need to enter your selection. Suppose 7, it needs to give invalid because there's no 7. Okay. So value must be between 1 and 6. Please try again. So enter your selection 0, 0. Value must be between 1 and 6. Please try again. You need to check for invalid entries as well. Suppose what ABCD is given. In that case, it needs to display. Okay. Value is not between 1 and 6. Please try again. Valid and invalid entries as well. So that's what you're going to do the testing. Okay, understood? So in this case, suppose if you're given 1, enter usage details. Okay, suppose 2, it needs to display the cost of provider 1. 2, display the cost of provider 2. 3, provider 3. 5, it needs to clear, and 6 exit. Okay, so number 3 is requirement 3. When the user selects enter usage details, the first one. Okay, when the user selects this, are you all right? You just keep on talking, not listening to the class. Okay. Make sure if you have any questions, you let me know later. Okay. So when the user selects the enter usage details option, provide another menu from which the user can select the phone call. You need to provide. So suppose if 1 is selected, you enter usage details. In that case, another menu needs to be displayed, which is the enter usage details menu. Okay, and then it needs to display all these. Please select an option from the menu: phone call, SMS, data usage, return to the main menu. Okay, so enter your selection. Suppose 1 is selected. 1 is selected, then you need to enter the length of the call in length in seconds. Okay, that's your 3-point requirement 3.1. Suppose phone call is selected, like enter call length in seconds 34 and total number of calls so far. Okay, you can just give any like optional numbers. You can give 1 or 2 or 3. So how many calls will you make per day? Okay, one program. It needs to be in one Java file. Okay. And then suppose if you can select the SMS, that will be your 3.2 requirement. Okay, 3.2 requirement, enter your selection. Number 2, total number of SMS so far, 1 or 2 per day or 10 per day. So that will be your 3.2. Okay, according to this menu, you need to like select the requirements. Okay, and then if it's a requirement 3.3 is data usage. Okay, recommend 3.3. So if the user selects data usage, they should be prompted to enter the amount of data used in MB. The value entered must be positive. If not, the user should be prompted to re-enter a new value. After entering a valid value, the user is returned to the enter usage details menu so that may choose to enter the additional details. Okay. So 3, data. So how much of data per day will you use? Okay. Or like 50 MB or 30 MB, 31 GB you need. So I think it needs to be only in MB. Okay. Make sure you give in MB. I think it's mentioned over here. It needs to be only in MB. Okay? I think it's mentioned somewhere else. Okay. And this is your requirement 4. When the user selects display cost under provider 1, this needs to be displayed. Okay. So per phone call 0.20, use these values, don't change the values. Per second of total time over all call phones 0.03, per SMS 0.10, per MB of data usage 0.02. Okay. So whenever you select the provider 1, this table needs to be displayed. Okay. Provider 2, there is a table here. This table needs to be displayed. And according to the calls and number of calls and then the number of SMS you have provided, it needs to calculate the total. Okay. So whatever you have provided over here, for example, you have provided so enters, so total number of SMS 1 is in 10. In that case, it needs to calculate the SMS values. Okay, it needs to calculate the SMS values. So 1, 0.2. Okay, understood? And number of calls in that case, suppose if it's a 2, 0.4, if it's a 3, 0.6, according to the values given here. Got it? So that's your requirement 4. Requirement 5 is also the same with the provider 2. Okay. Display cost value with the provider 2, it needs to display this table, and according to the values given there, you need to display the table for provider 2. Okay. Provider 3, you can give your own values as well, provider 3. Okay. Understood? Okay. So when requirement 7, when the user selects the clear usage details, the value of all variables related to the usage, number of calls, total length of calls, number of SMS, total data usage should be reset to 0. It's a clear usage, it needs to reset to 0. Okay. Got it? And the program should return to the main menu. It should return to the main menu. And then 8 is nothing but when the user exit system, quit the program with a message to the user which will show which is expensive and cheapest provider. Expensive, compare it, expensive provider, cheapest provider. Okay. You need to bring that table. And then 9, modularize the code correctly using the method calls and passing data between the methods and parameters. Testing. After finishing the development, test your program with the help of test cases. Develop task 1. In this task, you will be giving the actual output of the program. Make sure you provide screenshots in your report of all the actual outcome of the test case. You don't need to rewrite the test case in this task, but you definitely need to provide the proper numbers so far. Your teacher can identify the relevant test cases from your screenshots. Okay. So in this, you need to provide the test all the testing screenshots. Okay. Understood? Submit the program as well. So your submission will be of one PDF file. One PDF file will be consisting of the first part. Okay. One Word or PDF. Okay. So it needs to have this part plus your testing screenshots. Okay. So one PDF document and one Java file. Task 2, like a program development, requirement 1 and requirement, I think, until requirement 8, you need to provide the Java file. Okay, got it? So one PDF file and then one Java file, PDF file with the pseudocode, test cases and testing screenshots. and then one Java file with all the other tasks. Got it? So a group leader can say, you can just choose a group leader and he can submit it. Others need to provide a reflective summary. Reflective summary is what part you have worked on. Okay, understood? You need to submit it. Like each member needs to submit a reflective summary. Okay, group leader, what you can do is you need to give the reflective summary as well. You can put it at the end. Okay, just specify your name and student ID. Yes, you can do the reflective summary as well. Okay. Yes, it's mandatory. It's mandatory. So, like document you submit, what you can do is at the last you can say reflective summary, put your student ID and then student name there, and then you can give your reflective summary, the group leader. Others, what you need to do is you need to give your individual reflective summary. Okay. So, which part have you worked on? Okay. Suppose if you have faced any difficulties. How can everyone work on this way? See, you have got all the 8 requirements there. Okay, each one needs to work on 2 requirements. So you need to specify that. Suppose if you have suppose if you have faced any difficulty, in that case, you need to provide it as well. Okay, so that reflects. Okay, so the submission will have one PDF or a Word having the pseudocode, test cases, and the result, and one Java file by the group leader. And all other members will submit their work or PDF having the reflective summary. Okay, each and everyone needs to provide the reflective summary as well. Okay, understood? And if not, then marks will be reduced for that. Okay. This needs to be submitted in Moodle. Just go through with all these referencing. Referencing, you need to provide 5 referencing, Harvard referencing workbook. Using the Harvard referencing workbook, 5 references. Got it? Understood? There is also an assessment explanation. You can have a go through as well. Task 3 explanation, and this one is task 4 explanation. Okay, you can also see that as well. Okay, and students, you need to make sure that each group member is contributing to the assessment. Okay, not one student, each group member should contribute. If not, you can email me saying that this particular student or this particular group member has not contributed. Okay, it will reflect on the marks as well. So please make sure that all group members need to equally contribute. Okay, got it? Like students, understood? Okay, each group member should contribute like equally. Okay, so decide which task you're going to work on or which requirement you're going to work on, and then according to that you go with the groups. Okay. Have any question? Anyone has got any question? Process clear? Okay.
Recording stopped.
Ma'am, can we leave now?
Huh.